Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for clicking that button and joining me for today's video. Hope you're all well. So first off, a massive thank you for all your views, comments and engagement on the last video. That was a massive surprise to me. I did not expect it to do as well as it did, but it just goes to show how popular this subject is. Comments regarding the video were largely positive, I'm glad to report, and when I delved deeper into the comment section, it was nice to see you guys engaging with each other, discussing different aspects of SHTF. We did get the odd troll in there, which is unfortunate, but it's bound to happen. But you guys sent them packing, you dealt with it yourself. But I will say, if things do become heated in future videos in the comment section, I will just disable the comments. Apologies to all you guys that like to leave comments, but it just saves all the aggro in future. But with that being said, we did gain over 400 new subscribers from that video alone. So welcome to the channel, all my new subscribers. If you did a backlog through my previous videos, you will see this is not my typical content, but it has proven to be popular, so I will try and add these in along the way. We are going to do one today. This is going to be a air rifle penetration test. Now, before we get on to today's video, I'd very quickly like to address a couple of comments we got in the comment section on yesterday's video. Some of these comments were expressing their concern for my personal safety and the safety of my front door. Well, I'm glad to report I'm still here, and my front door still on its hinges, which goes to show we can actually talk about this subject as long as we're not promoting or advocating anything besides that. So let's see some more videos like this. Now, the topic of today's video, ladies and gents, is going to be just how powerful is a UK legal sub 12 foot-pound air rifle. Now, call it morbid curiosity, but I have often wondered myself just how powerful these rifles are, and if a projectile from these tools ever came in contact with another person, whether it be accidental misfire or own error use, just how much damage that 2.2 pellet would actually do. So I have scoured the internet for a couple of years now looking for a video that explains this, and there is nothing of interest that really explains it on a UK level anyway. I've seen the videos with the ballistics gel, corned beef, tins of corned beef, things like that, but it's usually in America. No one ever really does a proper explanational video over here, so that's what we're going to do today. And that brings me on to tonight's tea. So if the missus knew I was using this for this video, I would get a slap around the chops, so please do like the video now. But this is a British pork crackling leg, and on my research this is the closest anatomically to skin. So what we're going to do today, we're going to use this as a kind of ballistic organic gel. And we are first going to use the TDR, the Airarms TDR, because that is closest to the 12 foot-pound legal limit in the UK. Then we have got an old Webley Hurricane spring pistol, and then we're finally going to go in with the Crossbow. Now, we have got 3 or 4 popular brands of lead pellet to use with this gun, so we're going to mark down and then take a shot on each section of this and just see how far that pellet does penetrate. We're also going to wrap this in clothing. So we are going to layer that pork up. First of all, we have my Manfrotto tripod case there, and this is a thick polyester with a slight foam padding in between, so that should simulate a sort of a jacket sleeve or something like that. And then we'll also wrap the pork firstly in a cotton vest to simulate clothing. So the thickest part of this rind is definitely on this side, so we'll make sure that is the area we are going to be shooting at today. But we'll wrap it in my old gym vest, and that should give us a good simulation of sort of a cotton t-shirt, and then hopefully this will sit. I might have to just thin that up a little bit. So here we are. I have put my meat away now, and that is quite a nice package. It's gone in there quite nice. So let's have a look at the old pistol. Some of you guys may recognise this. This is a classic all the way from the 90s. This is the Webley Hurricane, and the old man gifted me this. This actually comes in a presentation box as well with the original tin of pellets there. So we're going to try that. I think this is around 5 or 6 foot-pounds, which is the UK legal limit for pistols. And then on to, this thing makes me smile every time I open it. Again, this is closest to the sub 12 foot-pound legal limit. Let's get rid of all the gubbins out of here, and that's how it comes packaged, as you can see. bit sniper-esque there. So we shall put this together now. So here we have 5 tins of popular airgun pellet brands. First of all, we have the Diablo Hades there. Predator polymags, my favourite for hunting. We have Jumbo Diablo, Diablo Field air arms, and the Acupels here. All in 2.2, all weigh around 15 to 16 grams, grains, sorry. We have also now dressed and prepared tonight's tea for target practice. So as you can see there, I have named each pellet, and I'll do that in sequence, and then we'll have a look at the aftermath later on. Now, before we carry on with today's scientific test, please do let me know down in the comments what you think the outcome will be of this test and which pellet you think will penetrate deepest. My honest opinion, I think with the polyester sleeve here, polyester is quite tough and there is no airspace in there. That has filled up that cavity quite well. So I honestly think maybe the polymag may penetrate it, but I think the rest of them are just going to dint the polyester. Let me know what you think down in the comments now. I will say from past experience, when I was a youngster at school, I am now 40, nearly 46, so that's going back some. I was wagging school one day. If you know what wagging is, you will do in the UK. It's where you forget to go to school in the morning and go and play out with your friends. So we found ourselves on sort of a discarded, abandoned old mechanics sort of garage area, and my mates had these. Well, he had one of these, not this one, but an airgun pistol, and we're all pissing about with it, as you do. And then we decided to have a bottle war and just throwing stuff at each other. My mate fired this in my direction. I got this right on the inside of my knee. Now, I would like to say, I wouldn't like to repeat that again because that bloody well stung. It didn't pierce the skin, but it did leave a nasty bruise right on the inside of my leg. And I think that was a 177. So this is a 2.2. So I honestly couldn't even tell you. If I don't think these are going to go through the rifle, this is probably just going to bounce off, even with the polymags. So let's crack on and find out. Apologies for the terrible lighting on this video, ladies and gents. That's all I can say. So we have just zeroed the rifle in, and I've put a target on here. We've got a decent backstop here, necessary for the crossbow. But you can see here I've put the stick on target on. I aimed at bull, and the pellet dropped here. So we are going to have to hold over about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. So now we know where we're shooting. And the backstop is an old PC case, so we've got metal there, and we've also got 3 1-inch thick play sort of ballistic mats there, which do a fantastic job of stopping the crossbow bolt. So let's get that set up. So the first round is loaded into the rifle, and as always, safety first, just in case we have any deflections. I will try and get you some slow-mo footage. If not, I will just point the camera at the target. I'm shooting from a distance of around 5.5 to 6 meters away. So now let's look at the aftermath. So now, ladies and gents, on to the test results, and a few of these did surprise me. First one being the exact Jumbo Diablo. This is a 15.89 grain pellet, 2.2, and this did succeed in piercing or penetrating the polyester. I'm not sure how far it went past that, but it succeeded there. The most surprising to me was the Acupel. There is no weight on these, but again 2.2, and it did succeed in first look penetrating the polyester. Again, not sure how far past that it penetrated. The Hades Diablo 2.2, these are again a 15.89 grain. These pretty much made an indentation on the polyester, bounced off. What do we have next? The Diablo Field. So the Diablo Field, again, unfortunately, did not penetrate. It left an indentation less than the Hades, basically just bounced off there. The polymags are the ones that I expected to go through. That has made a clean, oh, and that's definitely gone into the pork because I can feel some wet here as well. So that did make it past the polyester, past the cotton, and into the pork. The poly mags through the gun, you're not even going to see anything there. Oh, maybe just a little tiny blemish at the bottom, just the slightest of dints. And now, ladies and gents, now I've slid my meat out. If we have a look at the t-shirt underneath, you can probably just see there, hopefully, a tiny little tear. It made it through the t-shirt, but nothing into the actual meat. And then we have the most surprising to me, the Acupel. Did actually make it through the t-shirt again. Nothing else there. The polymag, as I expected, has gone through. Made a wet spot there, you can see. We'll see how far that penetrated in. This is just another wet spot from this. There is no hole there, so nothing like that. So let's check it out and have a look. Oh, let's open this up now and see just how far this actually penetrated. So there you can see the entrance hole, and we've got a bit of a skewer here, so we'll go in with that. And it's literally that, what, 10mm? So through a polyester coat sleeve and through a cotton vest, we penetrated with a hunting pellet around 10mm, not much at all. Didn't even make it through the full layer of the rind on the pork. So not fully deformed, but it did penetrate. Right, ladies and gents, so I've just done one more for my own curiosity, and that is straight into the rind with the polymag, as you can see here. So we're just going to test that now, see if that penetrated any deeper without the clothing aspect, and that did. So that, without any sort of clothing or material layers, that went in about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. So that did make it through the actual rind and into the muscle. So as you can see there, firing a pellet from a UK-legal sub 12 foot-pound air rifle will more than double in penetration when material is moved from the target. Now, we never want to aim these at anyone other than small game, and obviously when you've got permission from the landowner to do so. Again, these are solely intended for small game hunting, and I have fired these at wood pigeons and literally bounced off them, so it's not always going to be the outcome of the test we've done today. But looking at these air rifles as anything else other than a tool is a bit silly really, because no matter how scary and how stealthy and military these look, they're all at the end of the day underpowered 12 foot-pound air rifles. That's what makes me laugh when I see a collector who's got about 10, like my dad, in his collection, when they all fire at the same power. But yeah, still love it. Right, the last one we're going to do before we bring this video to conclusions is the Crossbow. I'm actually going to put the PC side cover in front of that with the polyester wrap as well, and that is rested against the ballistic board for the Crossbow. So this should be pretty much self-explanatory. Right, ladies and gents, sorry about the mess, but the missus is home soon. I need to get this pork in the oven, so let's have a look at that. So as you can see there, oh, it's leaking everywhere, fantastic. So 2 bolts are stuck in. I've got pork juice all over my table, absolutely lovely, and that has literally all the way through. All the way through. Yeah, a couple of big holes here. So yeah, needless to say, that would make an absolute mess. That's why we exercise extreme caution when using the Crossbow, especially one of that nature of the Revo 7. It is absolutely devastating in its effect, as you can see. I smell like Miss Piggy. So there's the sleeve. I'm going to have trouble getting these out because they've gone right up to the veins. And that's through 1mm, maybe 1.5mm of PC side covering, straight up to the veins. So at least 7 inches, that's what I tell the missus anyway, has gone straight into the pork. Nasty. Now, ladies and gents, just before I leave you, some new technical data analysis had just presented itself to me in the kitchen while I was slapping and preparing my meat. So, whilst I was trying to retrieve the pellet from the second polymag on the bear skin, it's actually penetrated far deeper than I first thought. So we had an initial penetration of around 2.5 inch with just the pellet going into the bear skin, and then the pellet has actually veered off through the side of the meat, which is again another 1.5–2 inch, and exited the meat through there. So the pellet will be in here somewhere. So that is far more dangerous than I actually thought. And again, extreme caution should be exercised when using any of these, and they should only be used with the permission of the landowner, either in a regulated air range in a mill or a shooting range, or with the landowner's permission for small game. And take that into consideration. But I hope you've enjoyed that. It's definitely scratched an itch I was feeling, and I'm satisfied with the outcome. But yeah, so until the next one, you stay safe, and as always, stay crafty. See you again, guys. Bye bye.